Hey, Jubilee Leadership. How is it going today? I just finished having breakfast, packing up all my stuff, and I need to get going soon to get on my shuttle to the airport. But I wanted to recap a little bit of what happened yesterday for day 3. So, day 3 is the business training day for the Silver Retreat. And oh my gosh, I took 25 pages of notes. So, if that helps you understand how much amazing information they poured into us leaders from so many amazing people. So, we got shuttled over to the Mountain Expo for that, and there was a lot of people that talked: Lindsay Elmore, Greg Larson, Marco Regan, Jamie Nato, and Carrie Wilberson. And that, so the first thing that they actually did was had a panel, and that included Heather Brock, Simona Roma, Franciella Madrid, and Hannah Cruz. And I'm hopefully saying all of those right. But they ranged from platinum to Royal Crown Diamond. And I think it was Marco that was asking them different questions. And it was just so cool, like just to hear some of the ways that they answered the questions and just see their different personalities, how they got started. I know for Simona, it was like answered prayer that she was looking for her son for seasonal changes, and that was like a door that opened that somebody had suggested lavender, and now she's I believe a diamond. So very, very cool to hear from those people that have, been going through it. And the coolest thing I think about listening to diamonds is just that each one is so different. The time frame it took to get there is so different. The obstacles they had to overcome is so different. But they all had to like grow and do some cool things to get to where they are. Franciella was really cool. She talked about a speech that Gary made, and she was talking about how he was talking about humility, and that humility oil, that abundance oil always sold a ton, and humility oil, that it made him sad that humility oil didn't sell more than abundance oil, because he felt like leaders should be humble. And so she was just saying, like, after that her team and like all the people that were at that, I think it was the race to finish when they went to Hawaii. She had won that trip, and she said they sold out of humility because all of those leaders went and were like, we're buying humility because Gary, is so humble, and he was talking about humility. Hannah Cruz had said a couple things that I really liked. She said, make sure you're doing the stuff you enjoy so that you will shine in your business. So don't try to, I think a lot of them said, don't try to be like someone else or, copy someone else. You have to like do the things that give you inspiration, use your gifts, flourish in your strengths. Because then when you do those things, you'll have some positive results. And then those positive results will create momentum, which will keep you going. Momentum keeps us going. And another quote that she said that I really loved is, just because you work for yourself doesn't mean that you have to work by yourself. And I think that's a big part of what the Jubilee Oil Tribe is like, not only do we have our individual teams where we work with our leaders, but we've joined together as all of the leaders coming together so that we can, all flourish in our gifts, and different personalities are represented and all those things. So, very cool. Trying to think of, I'm using my notes. I'm probably not going to tell you everything because, like I said, I have 25 pages of notes. So I love Simona. He had asked her how she deals with rejection. And she said that the first class that she went to, that the woman who hosted it had said that she invited 75 people and only 5 came. One of them was Simona. And, she was saying, what if that woman would have felt like that was, that she invited 75 and only 5 ended up showing up. Like if she would have given up or whatnot, that Simona probably wouldn't have heard of these oils and she wouldn't be where she is and have affected so many other people's lives by sharing them. So she said, I love this too. She said, we keep sharing with people. And she said, if your child doesn't follow directions on the first time that you tell them something, that we don't stop teaching them. We keep pressing on teaching them in love, and to pray about when to come back to that person in love and share, but that we just share, and people, they might not receive it, and we might need to share. I forget, there's always the statistics of how many times people need to hear something before they might jump on board. And she says she just doesn't focus on rejection. She just focuses on moving forward. So I thought that was really cool because obviously, rejection and hearing no's is something that can be really scary for people who are building. Heather was a trip, man. She was like pumped up and so excited. She's like a freedom fighter. So she really was encouraging. But I loved, like she talked about went right away when somebody signs up for the kit, showing them, here, this is your member number. So when you go home and you share with your best friend and your sister, this is the number you're going to use when they get their kit. So she just like right away plants seeds of sharing and doesn't make it weird or awkward. She just, puts that seed of sharing right in when they're buying their kit, and just being like, because this is going to help you so much. You're going to want your sister to use this. You're going to want your mom to use this. And just like, and that is the truth, but like not making it so scary for people and just planting that seed of sharing right away. And she talks, I thought this was really cool. She said she takes out the income disclosure and she has people just look at the rank numbers and the pay scales for that, and ask them to put 1 star by a number that would make things a little better in their life to earn, like would help maybe pay for dance lessons or help put gas in the car, or different things like that. And then she has them put 2 stars by something that would really make a pretty big difference, like maybe paying a car payment or paying for private school, or something like that. And then to put 3 stars by like the breadwinner of the home could retire, or you could pay off your house, or like this would be freedom for you. And just have them do that. And she's, said that that's also just planting a seed of, getting them to just think about the possibility of sharing, and think about what those figures could do for their life, which I thought was really cool, because it is good to think about those kind of things. And another, thing she said, like just planting seeds, like they get their kit, and you talk to them, you try and find out when they got their kit, and then you say things like, okay, tonight when you go to bed and you've rubbed Frank on your chest and you've put peace and calming and lavender in the diffuser, you are going to wake up feeling so good tomorrow that you're going to want to tell your sister about it, so I just thought that was really cool and like a really natural way to share. So they talked a lot just about doing the things that you did to get to silver, and not stopping doing those, because I think that's a lot of what people do. So I'm not going to go in. I have notes just about that panel. But next was Lindsay Elmore. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sure a lot of you have seen her. She's so smart and she knows so much stuff. She's a pharmacist, or not a pharmacist. Hold on. Yeah, I think she is a pharmacist. But I wrote down, where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. I think she's a pharmacist and a doctor. Here she is. A chemist, a clinical pharmacist, and she's got a doctorate of some kind. So she's like super smart, and she's the one that knows, like her whole goal is to break down things and make oil really super simple, because she says, of course she knows all this stuff about, the terpenes and sesquiterpenes and all those different things. But her goal is to not overwhelm people and not confuse people. She just says, you need to tell stories about your young living experience that are true for you, they'll be true for other people can relate, and that pull at the heartstrings of other people. So, just really, just sharing, you know, from the heart and connecting with people from the heart. So I love that. You know, as I'm looking at my notes, I just feel like I might want to break this down and go over each speaker with you guys at a later date. But I'll share some of her stuff maybe in a separate video. Well, of course, housekeeping is here. Hold on a second. Yes? What? Okay, I'm almost done. Yeah, I think I'll come back and do videos with you guys about what Lindsay said, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Greg Larson came on and just talked about the foundation some more. We ended up raising, I think it was like $96,000 while at Silver Retreat, and Young Living donated so much stuff to raise money. And one of the quotes he said when he was talking about all the different things with the foundation is, and I just love this, he said, rescue is a process and not an event. And I just thought about that just for our lives. And obviously they're doing humanitarian work and like rescuing women from sex trafficking, women and boys, or girls and boys from sex trafficking, through that Hope for Justice. I can't remember which one is which. You know, they're doing cool stuff with Soul Hope, with helping with jiggers and nets for malaria, and gosh, they've got so many different things that they are doing. But just, you know, they're rescuing people and just saying that it's not like, you know, you get somebody out of slavery and it's not like an instant, like, you know, they're rescued and they're out of it, but there's so much more that goes into it to heal someone and to get them on their feet again, and to just help them to feel like they have a purpose and all of those things. So I love that, just even with thinking in our own lives and when we're reaching out to help people, that rescue is a process and not an event. So walking alongside people takes heart, it takes effort, and it's not just like you get a kit in someone's hands, or, you know, you're a friend with someone for 1 minute and, you know, everything's instantly cured, right? Then Jamie Nadel, oh my gosh, I had never seen her before. I might have watched her on 12 Days of Diamonds, but I don't remember. But the girl that I had met here, Shayna, was so nice, lady from Florida, I think. Gosh, I forget where everyone is from. But she was like, you are going to love her. Like, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. So she was so hilarious. Oh my gosh, you guys should follow her. It's JAIMI hilarious lady. Like, her PowerPoint had like scribbles on it and just too funny, like humor all the way through. And but basically, like, her whole thing was just, I mean, I really felt like it was all about finding your sweet spot. And she described that and gave us a little like worksheet to do. I don't know where it went, but it is basically like where your strengths and your passions cross over, that is your sweet spot. And really, like, that you have to be, if you're going to do this business and flourish in it and feel good and be comfortable in your own skin doing it, that you need to do it the way that you are, the way that you're created, and not try and be like somebody else. Oh gosh, what? Sorry. So yeah, doing what you know, and then your voice will shine, and you know, you're basically that you'll shine when you are in your sweet spot, where you're doing what you were made to do, you know, whether that's within your business or, you know, just in life in general. That there's so much right now with social media and people just like comparing themselves to other people and, you know, trying to look at other leaders and do it their way. And sometimes we're not gifted in certain areas. So she used, you know, calendar and scheduling things and said like that she hates that. Like, it literally gives her like anxiety to think about. And so for a long time she was trying to like be really scheduled and like do it the way that everyone was saying, like, you need to do this, and that she just was not wasn't shining because she was trying to do things that she just is not good at. But she's good at other areas like humor and I don't remember what she all said, but that is where then she has like created this huge following and had this awesome business. And so she said you need to live within your passion, but then you also need to live within your proficiency. And she said proficiency is something that you can do that people would pay you for. So like with her, like her humor, like, you know, people want to watch her videos. I guess she goes to Target and does like commentary shopping in Target, and people just think it's hilarious. And people want to watch those. And so, you know, she said like, you can't really just go with something that you might enjoy, but that people wouldn't necessarily want to pay attention to. So you got to use your passion, your proficiency, your strengths, and like bring those together. And she gave us this formula and said you're going to need to take like about a month of sitting down and like figuring this out with yourself, but that it'll be worth it. So she was really awesome. I felt very inspired by her conversation and laughed a lot watching her. Then there was a lady, and I forget her name. She talked about the compensation plan and went into great detail about just stacking and different things like that, and ways that people kind of miss out on money, where their checks could be different just because of the way that they placed people. And I think that would be a really good like talk to do at one of the meetings or something like that, or even to just individually sit down with leaders and look at their downline and help them see where they could be structuring better for you guys to get to your next ranks, and so that you're getting the biggest payout on your check, because there's so many bonuses and so many cool ways that Young Living rewards us that we want to make sure we're getting all of it, right? And then the last speaker was Carrie Wilderson. She was phenomenal. She is the writer of the book that Young Living gave us, so I'm really excited to read it. But she basically, I'm going to sum up her thing, but she said that she was introduced to oils on a plane, and she sat down next to somebody, and apparently she's like talks all over to people. I've never heard of her before, but maybe you guys have. She sat down on a plane, and a woman was like, oh my gosh, you're Carrie Wilderson, and she was having a migraine, and she felt really bad because she's super personable, but she said, you know, to the woman, like, I'm having a migraine right now, and I am just not feeling like talking. She's like, I am so sorry. And the woman was like really kind and like sat in the middle, like she was on the aisle, and the woman was on the aisle, she was on the window, and the woman moved to the middle seat to kind of block her so that nobody else would like talk to her or recognize her. And basically said, you know, this was the quote that she kept using, I can't stand to see you in pain. Maybe I can help. I don't know if you're open to this or not, but I have an oil that might help you. And then she gave her peppermint, and it did help her. And so her whole speech to us was basically just using that quote. I can't stand to see you in pain. Maybe I can help. And whether it would be, you know, you're helping somebody with, you see an issue, you see a problem, you know, it could be like a health issue, but she was also saying it could be a money issue. It could be, you know, it might not have anything to do with Young Living, and it could be like something to do with someone's marriage, or, you know, and just being real with people and saying, I can't stand to see you in pain. Maybe I can help. I don't know if you're open to this, but I know this, or this has helped me, or, you know, however. And she also she made a point of saying, like, we really need to pay attention to our husbands. And if we want them to be supportive in our business, we need to focus on the areas that they need. And a lot of times we get into our business and we get so focused on our business that we forget about taking care of things with our husband. And it's funny because she said food, money, and sex are the things that our husbands are wired to be concerned about. And if we keep them happy in those areas, and she was so funny because she said there's one area that if you keep them happy and more, you might not have to worry about the other two areas as much. So she was just hilarious about that. But just, you know, saying like, she was so funny. She said something about like, oh, so-and-so's husband is so supportive. Did you see him doing a video unboxing his ER with her? And then she like said, yeah, we don't know what went on before they got to do that video. Of course, she was alluding to them having some magic time together, and that's why her husband was being supportive and like, sure, I'll do an unboxing with you now, honey. So, too funny. But just, she did make a point of like making sure we're taking care of our husbands if we're married, and just talked about a lot of things like mental illness. Like, there's not just that wellness is not just a physical thing. There's mental illness, there's financial illness, there's marriage illness, and there's so many things that we can help people with. Not that we have all the answers, but we may have just the beginning step of something for them to offer them. And she said we really need to just be looking at the big picture and the bigger picture of what our little bottle of oil can be. She talked about, just different things like, when you're helping somebody, are you seeing things like piano lessons or corrective surgery or, special needs parents having money to do therapy, like in these bottles that we're sharing and in this opportunity that we're sharing, that sometimes we're not seeing the big picture. She said there was one woman who had a special needs daughter, and they needed to put an elevator in their house for her so she could go up to the top floor to the playroom where her younger brother would play and they could play together. And the woman used her Young Living income to have enough money to build that elevator. And so just like sometimes we are not thinking about all the blessings that this business could afford somebody, whether it's something really small like just extra food in the fridge, to something really big like, I don't know, paying off medical bills or something for, different things. So she was just saying when we don't tell somebody, we're kind of being selfish, and, it could financially change your life. She said it's the same thing. She said, don't be a solution hoarder. Same thing applies. And she said to the gospel, we don't want to not share something that we know has set us free in ways. Same thing with restaurants, or if we know a good teacher, or all these things, like you want to help people find solutions. So stop giving yourself permission not to help people, because that's what we do. We get scared, we get nervous, and we actually are being selfish by not sharing. So just remembering that I can't stand to see you in pain. Maybe I can help. And she was so cute. She referenced the Princess Bride movie. If you've not seen it, you better. But where, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he's like, my name is Antigo, whatever, you killed my father, prepare to die. And he like memorized that, and that was his thing that he said over and over and over. And she said that should be our mantra that we have in our head for helping people. I can't stand to see you in pain. Maybe I can help for everything. So I don't know. There was more notes for her, but she was the last speaker. It was amazing, you guys. And then we had dinner on our own. A few of us went to an amazing place called Blue Lemon. If you ever come to Salt Lake City, so good and reasonably priced and fast. And oh my gosh, I got the tropical curry with chicken. Oh, so good. It had mango in there and curry, and I will definitely be eating here again if I come for convention or any other things in Salt Lake. Go to Blue Lemon, and I don't know if there's more of them. It kind of seemed like it might be a chain. And then we had a farewell party, you guys. It was so fun. They had Ningxia out for everyone, and it was a band karaoke. And I don't know how these people know all of these songs that they knew, but of the 2,200 silvers, a bunch of people did karaoke, and there are some amazing singers in the Young Living community. Like, we were blown away by these Young Living people were singing and performing, and they were all doing such fun songs. Just reminded me of like a lot of the songs I grew up in the 90s, or some of the oldies that I listened to in my 20s. And so it was just fun. The dance floor was packed. We were line dancing. We were doing everything and just getting down and having fun. So it was a really fun time for the farewell party. So that was day 3, and now I am on day 4 and I'm headed home. So today will be a long day of traveling for me, 2 flights. Pray for me. I do not like flying, and I can't wait to get home to see Lennon and Chris and just be home with my kitties and my dogs and my boys. And I just want to say thank you to my team who, I mean, you guys are the reason that I got to go on this trip. We've all worked really hard together. For me to hit silver and for you guys to hit the ranks that you've hit. And I just want to come alongside you and help you hit your goals and you guys to get to silver so that I can cheer you on when you get to experience all this stuff. They really do bless you. They really go above and beyond. Just to make you feel special and congratulate you on hitting your rank and to provide you with lots of info to keep going. So I want to help you guys keep going and to get to your ranks that you want to be to, and to have you the kind of freedom, whatever that looks like for you with financial or health or whatever, just to help you to keep taking those steps towards those goals. So we can talk individually, and you know, if you have questions or if you really want to like try and make a game plan for your own goals, or, you know, obviously I'm going to keep pouring into you guys through videos and meetings and wherever else I can, Zooms and all that. So, all right, guys, thank you again to my team. Cup runneth over. I just love you guys, and I love all of you Jubilee Oil Tribe folks too. I love our community, and I'm so grateful for you guys. So pray for my flight home. Bye.